Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Andy Day FM and welcome to my local football team of Sutton Coldfield Town. Currently playing their games at, well, actually, we need to change that first and foremost because it's not actually known as Coles Lane anymore. Oh no, it is actually known as the Domino's Arena. So that is the first thing that we are going to change today. Now, the reason why I'm starting off at the facilities section today is because not only are we going to actually change the name of the Sutton Coldfield Town Stadium, we're going to give it a few extra seats. And when I say a few, I mean 150,000 seats. So this is now the biggest stadium probably in the world, and it beats the stadium over in Mexico as well. Now, the reason why I'm doing this today, not only, well, because Sutton is quite a special little ground to me, and well, the actual club holds a nice little space in my heart, but also I want to know how long will it take Sutton to get up into the Football League. Now, I am not going to touch the finances. I'm not going to touch the income. I'm not going to touch the debts and loans. The only thing I'm going to change is the reputation as well as the capacity of the stadium. And that is also allocated towards the minimum and maximum attendance as well as the club attendance. So you guys can see what I'm doing right now. I've seen these videos done before where the likes of somebody has changed Scarborough Town, or they've done this for Buxton or Tamworth. I want to do this for my local team, and the database itself was downloaded from Steam. So you might be wondering, who plays for Sutton Coldfield Town? And some of these players are still in the club itself. Some have moved on to other clubs, but we've got the likes of Lewis Landers and John O'Brown as the goalkeepers. As our main two centre-backs, we've got James Beresford and Yahya Todd. Our full-backs are Aris, Taylor Carter Byrne, Remy Birch, and we've also got Pedro Lima, who can play in centre defence but also plays as a DM. Jack Burgess, Fraser Doyle, Cameron Collins, and Cisse Damfer are our midfielders. Wing players are with Ryan Edmonds, Carl Byrne, Charlie Dowd, James Tague, and Issa Abraham, with our strikers in Alex McSkeen, Reese Gibson, and Cameron Phillip. And if I'm honest with you, I am rather excited to see what this challenge unveils. The local opposition that we're going to be playing, some are more local than others. We're going to be up against the likes of Rushden Diamonds, Ansty Nomads, Begworth Town, Boldmere St Michael's, who are our actual local rivals, Cambridge City, Coleshill Town, Corby, Coventry Sphinx, Gressley Rovers, Harbour Town, Hinkley Road, Loughborough Dynamo, who are now known as Loughborough Students, Lytown, Corn Rugby, Shepshire Dynamo, Spalding United, Sporting Calcer, and Walsall Wood. So just out of curiosity, has it changed the season preview? Yes, it has. So we are now odds on quite substantially, purely for the fact that we've now got a 150,000 seater stadium. I am also aware that the game does like to try and readjust the stadium intake as well, because I think it's kind of picked up on it a little bit now. So we will be keeping tabs on that. What we're going to do, we're going to go one season ahead into the future, purely for the fact that I would actually like to see just how much money we've actually made within the club through gate receipts as well. There was one thing also that I did mention. We have also gave the club a state-of-the-art training facility and youth recruitment facility also. So hopefully we'll be able to see some golden generation players coming through. We will be back in a minute. We're going to go 1 year ahead. So we'll come back on the 3rd of July 2024, and then we'll see just exactly what has happened with Sutton Coldfield Town. Are they going to be promoted on the first try? Will they stay where they are in the league? Could they even be relegated? Who knows? Will they be bringing in some new players? Will the staff be changing? The staff itself as well. It's an okay, you know what? It's an okay management system. I know Cameron Stewart is still there as well as manager at the minute. But anyway, what we're going to do, we are going to come back in 12 months' time to see just exactly what has happened. I'll see you in a minute. Back after our first season. Now, we did come back a little bit earlier to the end of May because I did want to see the league table. And to be fair, on first glance, we'll just have a look. Sutton did finish as champions, winning 26 games, drawing 6 and losing 6. So a good positive start for the revamp of our stadium challenge, and that was the ultimate goal, was to get the gate receipts, and hopefully that would have had a positive effect. Just how positive? That's how positive. Now 43 million in the bank. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the video that the club only had just over £10,000 in the bank to begin with, but quite a substantial difference that the stadium has made. Now, just out of curiosity, actually the projection doesn't look that great moving forward in the next few seasons, but again, we'll see what that comes with. So just looking down at the income, so the main source of income actually was actually the sponsorship money. So whether that might be naming rights to the stadium or something to that effect, but it had quite an interesting effect. Just how interesting. So we mentioned about the 40 odd million in the bank. Did the club spend any? Yes, they did. And I tell you what, £575,000 for Lyndon Dykes from Queen's Park Rangers, the 28-year-old striker moving to the club. And that's the exact reason why, probably making transfers like that, the reason why the club actually ended up being promoted at the first attempt. And one here, Joshua Squires, is a 19-year-old midfielder moving from Southampton. That just goes to show just how good this challenge can be, because you get to see all these wonderful transfers just like this. A few outgoings as well. One notable mention of Reece Hilton. He moved to Halesowen prior to the start of this save. But Cisse Damfer, Ryan Edmonds and Jono Brown. Jono Brown actually moving to Boldmere St Michael's in real life, so make what you will of that. Competition-wise, so yeah, we won the Northern Premier League Division 1 Midlands. We got knocked out by Stratford Town in the first qualifying round. Got knocked out by Gloucester City in the FA Trophy and the Integra League, which is kind of like the local league. Got knocked out by Corby Town, but excuse me, you can see by the crowd attendances just the substantial difference between the home attendances and the away attendances. And to be honest with you, the run of fixtures, predominantly in the green, as we mentioned, those 26 victories, and to be fair, that did spur us on to the league title win. So, you know what? That's not actually that bad for a first season. We did actually jump into the club just so I can actually have a look at the finances. I will drop back out and put the previous manager back in, but yeah, the board are kind of reserving judgment on a lot of things. One of which working within the wage budget, and the end of next season to gain automatic promotion to the Vanarama North South. So that's going to be quite an interesting one. Are there any good youth candidates coming up? Well, I mean, at this level, you'd make what you will of it, but a lot of 3.5 to 4 stars, pushing up to 5-star in potential ability. So there's quite a lot to look forward to, especially within the next few seasons. So the board are expecting us to gain promotion to the Vanarama National League North and South, and we'll see just exactly how that happens. If it happens, we'll see what happens. So join us again in just a minute. I think something special has just happened here. I've only jumped in to have a look at the finances, but and some of the fixtures, but what? We've just been crowned champions of League One. Sutton Coldfield Town have been crowned champions of League One. What has happened here? Right, history. Here we go. So we were promoted from the Northern Premier League Division 1 Midlands. We were then promoted the very next season from the Southern League Premier Central. Then promoted from the Vanarama National League North. Then promoted from the Vanarama National League. Then promoted from Sky Bet League 2 in 2028. And we've just been crowned champions of the Sky Bet League 1. So that's back to back to back to back to back to back promotions. That's something else. I haven't looked at the team. I promise. I haven't looked at the team yet, but I want to look at the finances first. So at present, we've got an overall balance of £113 million with 165 million to spend in the transfer budget, with a wage budget of 13.65 million per month. That's mad. That's ridiculous. Right, who have we brought in? So what? So this season alone, we've spent 15 million, and we've signed Rasmus Højlund from Man United, for 9.75 million, going up to 11.75. We've signed I can't pronounce his name, from West Ham for 4 million, going up to 4.5 million. That's just this season. What happened last season? We signed Scott McTominay for 2.9 million. Valorenti Gomez for 4.2 million. We signed Marcus Leonardo for 10.5 million from Newcastle. What happened? We just went on this mad spending spree in the last 2 seasons. That is mad. How did we get on? So, 24-25, we went on what would appear to be an unbeaten season in the Cup. We get knocked out in the FA Trophy by Dorking 1-0. That was kind of expected. Halifax beat us in the 4th qualifying round 2-1. We finished the season unbeaten in the Southern League Premier Central. So this is the Vanarama National League North. It wasn't an unbeaten season, but it was somewhat successful. We got knocked out in the 5th round of the FA Trophy by Southend United, and the FA Cup first round, but took Blackpool to a replay. That's not bad. We only lost 1 game in the calendar season. Vanarama National League North, well, again, it wasn't unbeaten, but we got knocked out by Leeds United in the FA Cup 4th round. And, this was the season that we won the FA Trophy. We beat Tranmere 1-0 in front of just over 82,000 supporters. That's something else, that is. 27-28. I won't mention an unbeaten season because there's no point. We got knocked out by Rotherham in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, so there's no winning that again this season. But who did we get knocked out by in the FA Cup? Newcastle United away from home 3-1. Wow. And considering that we're in League 2 still, this season alone, this is the season that we won the Bristol Street Motors Trophy against Stockport County. So we beat Tranmere in the FA Trophy and won the Bristol Street Motors Trophy against Stockport County in front of 90,000. Look at the away supporters. That's mad. 90,000 in attendance at Wembley and only 4,700 odd Stockport County fans. That's ridiculous. Oh, hello. We beat Everton in the FA Cup 3rd round away from home. Then again, with the likes of Daniel... Is that the Daniel James from... Yeah, it is. So it's Daniel James from... he went to West Ham. He was at Leeds United, went to West Ham and signed... That's quite a loss in profit for West Ham. And then he signed for us for 2.8 million. That's I'll tell you something. This is ridiculous. This is now okay. So it's been 6 years since we started. I'm going to jump ahead 5 more years. Will we be in the Premier League? Could we be in Europe? I don't know. I mean, the world's our oyster at the minute with the stadium as it is, bringing in the most revenue. But now it's going to start to level out, I reckon. So I reckon the income from the stadium, from the gate receipts, will start to level out various payments now, especially now that we're going to get tackled by FFP as well. Right, won't be long. I'm going to make a prediction that we will be in the Premier League. Maybe, just maybe Europe. This is something else, this is. I'm quite excited about this. Eagerly anticipating the next 5 years. Where we last left Sutton Coldfield Town in League One. And this is surely you can see this. Unbelievable. What happened? Sutton Coldfield Town. I haven't touched this. I haven't touched the editor. I haven't done nothing. All I've done is skip ahead a few years and just had a look at the progress and made a statement about it, about each step of the way. From where we first started back in 23-24 up to 20-33-24, 20-34. And we've just finished off the season. It's the end of May, and Sutton Coldfield Town have won the Premier League. What is it? Just once? Have we? What? No, it's just once. They've actually won the league. What happened? Right, so this is a championship after we got promoted from League One, and started off really well. So didn't do too bad. Went unbeaten up until mid-October. Knocked out the Carabao Cup, 3-0. Had a bit of an interesting turn of events, but December wasn't bad. Only lost one. Lost that to Brentford in the FA Cup third round. We're into March, and we're not doing too bad. Drew 3-1-2 in April. Okay. Alright. So we actually played Bristol City. Oh, wow, look at that. We played Bristol City away in the semi-finals of the playoffs. First leg. Lost 3-1. We then beat them at home 4-1, which put us in the final against Nottingham Forest. And a Reece Nelson, you know him, he was at Arsenal not long back. I think he's at Fulham now in real life. He scores the winner, which puts Sutton Coldfield Town in the Premier League. Wow. Again, another back-to-back promotion. That's astonishing. We didn't exactly start off the first season in the Premier League too well. We'll have a look at the transfers and the finances in just a minute. First game of the season, we lose to Aston Villa 1-0. Still at the Domino's Arena. Form was pretty rough, and we actually, despite the first two games, the first two away games after that, we pick up our first home win against Middlesbrough. I've just noticed something as well. Sang Hyun Kang Park. Okay, so they've moved stadium. They've actually dropped 10,000 seats to move into a new stadium. So who is Sang Hyun Kang? Who is it? It's usually named after a player or an owner. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. December wasn't bad. I mean, that's not a bad run of form, actually. That's pretty good. We beat Wrexham in the FA Cup third round. Beat Hull in the FA Cup fourth round. Brentford in the fifth round, but we lose to Man City on penalties. we lose to Man City on penalties 3-2. Well, we didn't get relegated for a start off, which is good. 31-32. Actually, we entered the Europa Conference League, so we must have actually finished in quite a decent place in the league to actually be to be considered as European contenders. So Hibs, I'll have a look at the Premier League in a minute. This is more intrigued. I'm intrigued now because now Sutton Coldfield Town are actually in Europe. So they beat Hibs 6-0 on aggregate before they were put in with the likes of Cologne, Utrecht, MTK Budapest, Real Betis, FC Basel, and Sheriff Tiraspol. That's not bad, and by the looks of it, we didn't actually lose a game in Europe. So who do we play next? Oh, I've just noticed something as well. I don't know if you've noticed it. I've noticed it. We'll come back to that in a second. So we played FC Cologne in the round of 16. We beat them 4-2 on aggregate. We lost to Partizan away, but then beat them 2-0 at home, so 3-2 on aggregate. Played Dinamo. That's a semi-final. We beat Dinamo Zagreb 1-0 away and beat them at home. We didn't win the Europa Conference League, did we? Jesus, we did. We beat Stad Ren 2-1 in the Europa Conference League out at our first try. No way. Now the reason, so that's astonishing. But we also picked up our first Carabao Cup win. We beat Aston Villa 3-2. That's some season, that is. That is a brilliant season. Wow. Now, you remember me saying that we only just won the league, so that would have put us into the Europa League. So let's have a look at the season campaign. So, did we retain the Carabao Cup? First things first. Well, actually, the league performance wasn't actually that bad neither, from August through to the end of November. So we're in the Europa League, up against Zrinski, Slavia Prague, Young Boys, Real Sociedad, Fenerbahce, Ludogorets. I think that might be it. Yeah, that's it. And actually, we didn't lose a game. Again, we drew against Sociedad, and that was it. So we're still in the Carabao Cup as well, by the looks of it. Oh, look at December. That was a busy month. Let's have a look. So, Carabao Cup, Liverpool. We beat Liverpool on aggregate. We also beat Villa in the third round of the FA Cup. Beat Man United in the fourth round of the FA Cup. We also played AZ Alkmaar and Partizan as well. Actually, we lost to Brentford in the Carabao Cup final. But we beat Crystal Palace in the FA Cup fifth round. We played PAOK from Greece in the round of 16 of the Europa League. We beat them comfortably 4-0. Sporting Lisbon, or Sporting CP, beat them 6-0 on aggregate, and we got beat by Liverpool in the FA Cup semi-final. Seems like a bit of a rough month in April, if I'm honest with you. But our European campaign in the Europa League came to an end at the hands of Tottenham in the semi-final, losing 5-1 on aggregate. Bit of a tough end to the season, that one. But another season in Europe. But this is a season that I want to look at, because this is the is it? Yeah, it is. This is the season where we won the league somehow. I want to know how. So, Cups first. So looks like there's no European football neither. So could have been a good stronghold for us to focus on the league. But in the Cups, Brighton, we got rid of them 3-2 in the second round. We had to go to penalties against Leeds United away, beat them 4-2. 4-2? Yeah, 4-2. Beat Colchester 1-0 in the fourth round before being knocked out by Arsenal in the quarterfinals on penalties. Looks like a disastrous penalty competition there. But we played against Doncaster Rovers in the third round of the FA Cup, beating them 3-1. 4-0 against Swindon, but getting knocked out by Leicester in the FA Cup, which kind of paved the way for us to focus on the league. And if I'm looking at this correctly, from January the 4th, where we got beat by Manchester United away from home, we did not lose a single game. We drew a few. We drew 4, but we won the rest. That's ridiculous. And, it's there, it's right there on the screen. We won the league by 4 points. That's mad. It's absolutely mad. And that's unbelievable. The finances at the minute, excuse me, 30 million in the bank, but with 105 million to spend. We'll have a look at the transfers in just a second. The income isn't looking that bad, just at the projection. And actually, to be fair with you, we are losing a bit of money, but we're not in debt. So that's not too bad. Club info. I want to find out about this facility. So yeah, the Sangkyung Kang Park. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me click on landmarks. Right, so where does it... okay. So on the 3rd of June 2026, new chairman Sangkyung Kang takes over, he was a tycoon after Nick Thurston left, and it was pretty much clean sailing all the way up from there. And the 30th of August 2030, 4 years ago, we moved into the Sangkyung Kang Park. Oh, wow. What a journey. So, any noticeable players? Where were we? Right, so 29-30, we spent £201 million, with the highest fee being Anthony from Manchester United, 42 million, rising up to 47.5. Fabio Vieira from Inter Milan, that's a standout player. There's Reece Nelson, who was signed up on a free. Wesley Fofana, I think he's at Chelsea in a minute, signed him for free. Okay, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. So £201 million spent, 34 million on players who we sold. Rasmus Højlund went to Napoli. That's a big name there, right there. It looks like we took a jump over to South America, but it looks at these transfers. 134 million spent, 15 million pound brought in from transfers. With the highest fee being Emeren Ilkan from Torino for 56, rising up to 62 million. 31-32 saw us spend 92 million on Flavius Stefan. When was this? This was 2 seasons ago, I believe, or a season ago. Who is a 26-year-old Romanian striker, and he don't look that bad, does he? He really doesn't look that bad. That's something else. It really is. £92 million on a player. Wow. And for this... No, sorry. No, my apologies. In 32-33, we spent £54 million in comparison to the season prior, and the highest paying fee was for Kenji Yoniyama for 22.5, rising up to 23.5 million. And he is a Japanese forward. Actually, you don't look that bad looking at the stats. Not too bad at all. So this season, we another bank breaker. We spent £174 million, and you can probably tell the reason now why we've actually won the league, especially after spending this amount of money. The manager certainly knows. He certainly knows what he's doing. But the highest fee was 40 million, rising up to 49 million for a right winger a Welsh right winger from Burnley, namely James Watts. Okay. That's something else. Wow. No, wait, hold on a minute. So, if we've just won the league, that means that we're in the Champions League. We're in the Champions League. Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued now. Excuse me. Okay. I'll tell you what. We'll go 5 years ago, 3 years ahead, and we'll see what we do. Our maiden debut in the Champions League. Here we go. We're gonna dive straight in. I want to know if we have succeeded in the Champions League. Right, so we're in May 30, 2037. We have gone 3 years on. Finances are looking pretty, I want to say pretty stable at the minute, with 44 million in the bank, 110 million to spend. Was there any change in the club info? Nothing in the slightest, but it looks of it, and it looks like we've actually finished 8th in the Premier League this time round. Stadium's still the same, but enough about that. Let's have a look. So, let's have a look, shall we? And it actually looks like we've actually started our 34-35 season with a trophy by beating Manchester City 2-1 in the Community Shield. But getting knocked out of the Carabao Cup very early on in the third round by Liverpool 2-2. Finished 2-2, and lost out on penalties 5-4 by the looks of it. So, this Champions League group phase, league phase even, so beat Celtic 1-0, beat Galatasaray 2-0, beat AC Milan 3-1, beat PSV 3-2, Olympiacos 3-1. It's looking positive. It's looking very, very positive for our debut in the Champions League. We beat Ajax 1-0. I've got a shifted cough. We actually managed to beat Bristol City in the FA Cup as well. And by the looks of it, we drew to Arsenal. And then we beat Lazio 1-0. Actually, into the FA Cup 5th round also by beating Macclesfield 5-0. Before being knocked out in the 5th round by Arsenal. So, the round of 16 saw us take on AC Milan away first, where we lost 2-1, before we overcome the deficit, beating them 2-0 at the St Kang Park. 2-0 on the night. Let's have a look. Actually, we got a little bit of revenge for our Carabao Cup defeat against Liverpool by beating them 3-1 in the quarter-finals, which puts us in the semi-final, where we drew at home to Man City 1-1, drew 0-0 at their place, still playing at the City and Manchester Stadium, I might add, and also beating them on penalties as well. So that's heartbreaking. We lost to Paris Saint-Germain 2-1 in extra time. But I tell you something, for a debut season in the Champions League, we get to the final. That is special. That is something very, very special. That is very, very good to see. So where were we? Okay, so this season, 35-36, we're in the Europa League. beating Besiktas, Sevilla, Bodo Glimt, Ammonia, and PSV. Actually, drawing to Ammonia and beating PSV. Also beating AEK 3-0. And I'll tell you what, January is quite a busy month, isn't it? Look at that. 2-2 away in the FA Cup third round. 3-0 against Arsenal in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. Beating Villa in the FA Cup third round replay before beating Arsenal away to get us into the Carabao Cup final. Also along the way, we beat Schalke 3-1 and St. Gallen 4-0. And actually, we've now won our second, if I'm not mistaken, our second Carabao Cup by beating Manchester United 2-0 in the final. That's not too bad. And actually, as you can also see, we beat Fiorentina in the round of 16 over 2 legs rather convincingly 3-0 before going through against Sevilla in the quarterfinals, winning 5-3 on aggregate, 1-1 away from home before beating them at home 4-2. And I think that now puts us in a Europa League final, because judging by this, we played Leicester 3 times in 1 week, beating them at home in the semi-finals of the Europa League 1-0, beating them in the Premier League 3-2, and then beating them, are they still playing at the Leicester City Stadium, as it's now known, 2-0 in the away leg. What did we do in the final? We beat Juventus. Oh, that is brilliant. We won 2-0 in the final against Juventus. That is, oh wow, that's brilliant. That is something special right there. So now we've won the Europa Conference League, we've won the Europa League. The only trophy that we needed to win, or that we need to win, is the Champions League, and that will complete the full set to go from way back in season 23-24, where we first started in our original league, and we've gone all the way up to the Premier League and into the Champions League, where now, I can't believe I'm saying this, is the only trophy that we need to win to complete the entire set. Actually, we did also win another trophy. Actually, it's the European South American Club Challenge. We beat Velez 3-0, so that's not a bad way to start off the season. We also beat Chelsea in the Super Cup 2-1. I don't see a Community Shield, which tells me that we didn't win the league nor the FA Cup in the previous season, but we did beat Stoke in the Carabao Cup 2-1 before drawing to Bayern Munich 1-1, beating Lazio 1-0 at home, beating Lille away 3-0, losing out to Aston Villa at home in the Carabao Cup 4th round, with Rasmus Højlund, by the looks of it, scoring against his former club. But that is a hell of a penalty shootout, by the way. Moving on with the Champions League, we went on to beat AS Monaco 2-1. We lost to Real Madrid 2-0 before beating Inter Milan 2-1 away from home. We won the Emirates FA Cup third round against Bristol City 2-1 before our final 2 games in the Champions League phase against Slavia Prague 3-0 and PSV Eindhoven 2-0. And also on the way, beating Crystal Palace away from home in the FA Cup 4th round 3-1. It's not actually a bad going, considering. I'll tell you what, Liverpool, they will be counting their lucky stars that it wasn't a bigger scoreline by the looks of it, because now we've really got our foot on the gas pedal with revenge by beating them at, is it still Anfield? Still Anfield 1-0. I don't know where that whole gas pedal thing came from. Where did that come from? Anyway, moving on. We beat Atletico Madrid in the round of 16 4-2 before beating Brentford 2-0 in the FA Cup quarterfinals. And that is I spoke too soon about Liverpool. So we lost at home to Liverpool in the Champions League quarter-final first leg 2-0, and then we drew away from home. Oh, I tell you what, April was a disastrous month. We drew away to Liverpool 1-1, meaning they beat us 3-1 on aggregate before losing in the FA Cup semi-final 2-1. And that is that. And by the looks of it, I think that was the end of the manager as well. It's been the same manager since League Two, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was an Argentinian manager. I'll tell you what. Hold on, because no, not mine, idiot. I just want to look at this. I just want to take a step back and just take a quick breather for a second, because since we started, this will be the last season that we go through with Sutton Coldfield Town. We started with a Northern Premier League Division 1 Midlands League title win. We went on to win the Southern League Premier Central, on to the Vanarama National League North, Vanarama National League, into League 2, from there into League 1, when I can get this thing to work, into League 1, up to, oh yes, we won the playoffs for the Championship, but winning the Premier League from the start of this save to where we were, to where we are now, winning the Premier League, winning a UEFA Super Cup, a UEFA Europa League, a UEFA Conference League, 2 Carabao Cups. The only trophy that we didn't seem to win, actually, aside from the Champions League, was the FA Cup, but we kind of won its little brother, really, with the FA Trophy. A Community Shield, and a Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Wow. That is something else. And over the last 3 years, just for good measure, we spent 160 million in 34-35, with our highest fee actually was for Kobe Mino from Manchester United. How old is he now? 32-year-old Kobe Mino, who would have been 30 then. Wow. This is unbelievable, this is. I'm absolutely shocked. I really am. Season after that, we spent 51, rising up to 57 million for Sander Mars from Feyenoord. That was our highest paid fee. And the recent season that's just gone, Tomislav Prahic from Mainz in Germany. 63 million. I'll tell you something. If ever there was an opportunity to increase the amount of finances that a club could have through gate receipts, through the use of a 150,000 seater stadium of Domino's Arena where it all started, that was the catalyst. That was what got the ball rolling, and that's what ended us with a Premier League title. That is something else. I'll tell you what, I can only wonder if we could actually win the Champions League if we went a few more seasons. However, I think we are going to leave it there. So, from 2023-24 up to 2037, this club has come a hell of a long way. And if you have liked the content from this video, I've really enjoyed it. I've actually loved making this video to see the progress of my local team in Sutton Coldfield Town. If you've liked it, hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. And if you do want me to push forward a few more years with this challenge, with this save of Sutton Coldfield, let me know and I'll see what I can do. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Really does mean a lot to me. Thank you again, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. See you later.